Welcome to driver training. In this video we're going to focus on the ADI part 3 and overtaking. Generally you would need to do this as two separate subjects. The first is overtaking on a single road, the second is how you would overtake on a dual carriageway. So today we're going to focus on a single road. Now this again needs to be broken down into two separate topics. The first is where is safe to overtake or where isn't safe to overtake. And then the second topic is our overtaking routine. Now can we just say at this point, the routine to overtake is not mirror signal position. That is totally wrong and no driver ever does it like that. But we'll cover that in our next video. So today we're going to go on to overtaking where it is safe. Now what you'll notice in this video is we do not overtake a single vehicle. Why do we need to figure out where is safe first of all? Well, sadly, the amount of times where you see road collisions or head-on crashes, and you look at the road markings, the amount of times that it's a double solid white line or a single solid white line. So perhaps, maybe, that this person's driving instructor never said to them, do you know what, to overtake at this point is a really bad idea. It can be zigzag lines, it can be solid lines. Knowing where is safe and legal and needed to overtake is really one of the major keys, and it's one of the lessons that very few driving instructors do. So we're going to focus on overtaking, and our 3 points are: is it safe, is it legal, and is it needed? So let me explain as we go through our video on overtaking. As we're coming down the road, we're looking ahead for as many road markings and signs as we can. We've got the arrow in the middle of the road there telling us to come back or to not overtake in the first place. And the reason is, first of all, there's a bend coming up, but secondly, we've got the bollard in the middle of the road. So if you started to overtake at this point, you're just going to smash into that bollard. We've also got the roundabout coming up, so cars can come round the corner on the right that we don't expect. So now wouldn't be a safe place to actually overtake. Now, as we come round the roundabout, we're doing the same thing again, looking as far into the new road as we can. And as we come round, we can see that we've got the change of speed limit to national, so we know that's 60. But we've also got solid white lines, so it wouldn't be legal to try and overtake at this point. As we come down the road, we've got bends and we can't fully see around them, so it wouldn't be safe. Now we've got the arrow telling us to come back in. We've got the sign telling us there's a double bend coming up. So it wouldn't be safe now, it wouldn't be legal to overtake either, but we can't see what's coming up at this bend. Now we've got the slow sign, which doesn't actually mean slow down, it just means the road's got history. There are driveways or junctions where cars have pulled in or pulled out from, and you're going to come around that corner potentially at a very fast speed and not expect them to be there. So we're looking at the road markings, still solid white lines, so it is not legal to overtake at this point. Now here, the lines change. It becomes a broken white line, so it is actually legal to overtake, but is it safe? As we look at the bend ahead, we can't see round, so if we thought, yeah, I'll start to overtake now, and just as we do, we go head to head with that lorry and end up going through our windscreen. That's not going to be a good ending, is it, Chris? Now we can't see over the brow of the hill at all. At this point, we're looking down the road, we can see the arrows in the road, we can see the slow sign again, so we know potentially there's driveways, there's junctions that we just can't see, and there they are. So we could start to overtake and then be faced with a car or a vehicle coming out. On top of that, in front of us on the road, we've got a pile of mud. So that tends to suggest that we have farm vehicles that are coming out of the fields and onto the road. So again, even if the white lines say we can overtake, you've got to think you might come around the corner and be faced with a tractor coming out of a field or anything like that. So again, looking and assessing becomes really important. Now, as we're coming over the brow of the hill, we've got the slow sign. Now here, it's a fairly straight road, but there's a dip in front. And this is where I think sometimes people go, well, I know it's a solid white line, but I can see in front that it's clear, so I'll just go for it. But this is where people are misguided, because we can't see the dip ahead of us. The key to overtaking safely is to know for a fact that it is safe to do it. So at this point, if we think, oh, do you know what? Yeah, I'll just go for it. It's a country road, it's fine. And just as we pull out, this car comes round the corner and we're involved in a head-on collision. Again, with the next dip in front of us, the car just appears without even knowing it. So it really is so important to look and plan ahead. And if you can't see fully that it's clear, you shouldn't go. But at that point, it's not legal. Now it's not safe because we've got the double bend coming up. And also the advisory that the speed limit should be 40, which sometimes we do need to follow depending on the weather conditions. Now the white lines change, so it is legal to overtake, but we can't see round the bend. The black and white chevrons in front of us are telling us it's a bit sharper, so it's not safe. If we started to overtake now, we're dead, basically. So looking ahead to the next bend, we've got a bit of a brow of a hill. It appears clear, but again, we can't see. And there's another vehicle coming straight towards us. So can you see the importance of, as a driving instructor for the ADI Part 3, the ADI Standards Check, teaching people when and where is safe to overtake? So we can think, well, have I ever done this with any of my pupils? If not, it's a good time to start to help them understand. Now, as we're coming down the road, we've got the solid white line, we've got the road markings and the sign that tells us we've got a junction coming up ahead of us. So now wouldn't be safe or legal to overtake. Now we're going to turn left at this next road, and as we come into the road, we can see it gets narrower. We can't see round the bend, so now wouldn't be a safe time to overtake, but it would be legal because the lines allow us. Now we lose the centre markings, but we can't see round the bend, so it wouldn't be safe to overtake. What if a tractor came round that corner, a van, another vehicle? We can see this road is a lot narrower. So even when we're thinking of overtaking something, we've got to be more careful because we just simply don't have the room realistically, unless the vehicle in front was really up against the grass verge. Now with the houses on the right, if we were thinking of overtaking, what if a car just begins to pull out of that driveway? What if somebody just comes out on a bike without thinking? We're going to be on the wrong side of the road overtaking something. We've got the brow of the hill, so we can't see, as you saw them. We've got more driveways, so we'd have to be very careful in thinking whether it was safe to overtake. Now the road markings start, which let us know there's a junction coming up, so it wouldn't be a safe place to overtake at this point. New road, is there a new limit? There's not, so we know the road we're turning onto is still national speed limit, which on a single road is 60. Here, looking ahead, we can't see fully round the bend, so it wouldn't be a safe place to overtake. And as we look down into the distance, we can't see round this next bend that's coming up. So although it's legal because it's a broken white line, it isn't safe to, so therefore we wouldn't think of overtaking unless it was a very slow moving vehicle. As you can see, the vehicles come round that bend and we don't see them till the last second, so it wouldn't be safe to overtake at this point. As we're coming down, we've got a bit of a brow of the hill. We've also got some houses and a church coming up on the right that we could just see. So again, what if vehicles are pulling out from it? So it is legal to overtake, but it isn't safe. Now again, if it was a slow moving vehicle at this point, perhaps a road sweeper or something like that, it may be, but now we've got the slow signs, we've got the arrow, we've got the junction board, so it wouldn't be safe. Now it wouldn't be legal to overtake at this point either. Now we're going to take this road on the right, so we're going to look into the new road once it's safe to cross, and we're going to see if it's safe or legal or needed to overtake. Because if you're coming up to a junction and there's a vehicle in front and you want to take the next road on the left, don't need to overtake, you can just stay behind them. Now in front you'll see both these cars disappear on the bend, so it wouldn't be safe to overtake at this point because we just simply can't see what's coming down the road towards us. Now the road opens up a little, so again, if it was a slower moving vehicle, it would have been safe at this point, but now we can see we've got the red marker boards. Not only have we got the traffic heading towards us, but a red marker board means that there's a level crossing coming up, so we wouldn't want to start overtaking at this point. Another reason, we can see the car turning, so we look down, we've got the arrow in the road, we've got the junction on the right, so if we started to overtake, we could face a car coming out of the road. Now the reason for this is when you go over a level crossing, of course the car bounces across the tracks, as you see. So if we're starting to overtake something and haven't noticed it, it's going to be a very high risk of losing control. Now there's a junction ahead, so it's not safe because anything could come the other way, and it's not needed because the car in front could turn in a different direction to us, so it wouldn't be safe or needed to overtake at that point. No change of speed limit as we come into the new road, so we know it's still national speed limit. Not safe to overtake because of the vehicles. It is legal because of the road markings. And as we look down the road into the distance, we can see a couple of highlighted signs already. Now as we get closer, we can see that the first sign tells us there's no pavement, so pedestrians are going to be on the road. The second one is a change of speed limit, so it wouldn't be safe to overtake. And if the car in front is doing 30, it wouldn't be legal either. We can't see round the bend, we don't know what's coming. There we go, that proves our point that it's not safe unless you can see clearly. Now we've got the mini roundabout, so it wouldn't be safe or legal because otherwise you're going to go around the wrong side of the roundabout to overtake. And as we're coming now into a more populated area, the sign on the left tells us there's a school, so we know we're coming back into a busy area. We can't see round the bend, so we don't know what's going to come round. We've got the junctions, so we're preparing for cars. We've got a bit of a brow on the hill there, so at the moment we could think, yeah, I can overtake, it's clear, I can see that I can go. And then there we go, round the corner comes a bus. Not only do we have to try and swerve back in because of the parked vehicles, but potentially we're going head to head with a bus as well. Now the road markings are telling us it's legal to overtake, but again, parked vehicles means the vehicle in front of us is going to go round them and go on the wrong side of the road, even if it's a bicycle. So again, it wouldn't be safe to overtake because if that bike moves out fully onto the other side, you simply don't have the room to get around it. Now we're looking down, it is legal to overtake, but we're going to take this next road on the right. There's no change of speed limit, so we know this is still a 30-mile-an-hour road. And as we come down, we've got the warning sign behind the hedge, but also it's narrower again, so it wouldn't be safe to overtake. We've got the slow sign, the sign that there is a school around, so you will find children walking on their bikes. So you've got to be really sure that it's safe before you would overtake even a slower moving vehicle. Ahead of us, we've got the bend that we can't see round. We've got vehicles that could come out of the driveways, people that could just walk out, not expecting us to be on the wrong side of the road. So even if we were overtaking something that was very slow, perhaps cutting the hedges or a road sweeper, you'd have to be really careful. Now with the bend, we still can't see round it, so is it safe to overtake? No. Now we've got the national speed limit sign, so you can think, great, I'll go for it. And just as we pull out, they come round the corner and into the front of us. Now another hazard, you can see on the right there, the standing water and the muddy verges of the grass. So if we started to overtake, perhaps even someone on a bicycle, the risk is there's either a pothole holding that water or the grass verge is incredibly muddy and you kind of lose a bit of steering control, which when you're trying to accelerate to get past something isn't a good thing to happen. It's not safe, we can't see round the bend, we don't know what's coming the other way or how fast. Now we're going to take the next road on the right, but again the road sign tells us there could be mud on the road, which we can see, so we know we may come face to face with farm vehicles. Now as we turn into this road, we can see it becomes basically a single track road. And also, if we just slow it down, if you look at that left side, see how muddy it is. So if that's true as you're trying to overtake perhaps even a bicycle, then the danger is if the right side is all muddy, you're one, going to lose steering control. Two, you're just going to get bogged down and come to a stop. Or three, worst case scenario, it pulls you across to the side and you end up going into the hedge or the bank, just like you can see on the right there. Now, if you're in a tractor, it's not going to cause you much problem, but if you're in a car trying to get past slower vehicles, bicycles, even going around pedestrians, because again on the right we've got a lot of standing water. So if that sprays up into your engine as you're accelerating to go past them, one, the danger is you're just going to kill your engine, and that's going to cost you a lot of money to get right. Or two, the force of the water just pulls you to the side. Or three, there's a very deep pothole there, and it's just going to do damage to your vehicle. So even going past pedestrians, going past cyclists, you'd have to be very wary on a road like this with these conditions. Now we can see we've got more farms and houses, so we've got to be aware we can't see round the bend. So is it safe? Definitely not even to go past pedestrians. You'd have to go very, very slowly. And as we come down the road, what we just want to do is swap to the rear view at this point of our camera. Because if we look behind us, we can see we actually have a tractor. Now, the reason I want to show you this is if we're going in the opposite direction, so we're now approaching that bend, we're going to look at that bend and go, oh, it's fine. You know, perhaps there's a couple of pedestrians standing there waiting. Well, why are they standing there? Because even if we went to go around the pedestrians, we come face to face and look at the position that the tractor is in because of how narrow the road is. That's what you've always got to think when you go to overtake. Even cyclists or pedestrians are like now coming the forward view. What's coming the other way? Would it be safe to just go round pedestrians? Well, no, because of that water, they're going to move out onto our side of the road. So it's not safe to go past them at that point. We can see a little bit further down the road, but we've got to think anything turning into this junction is going to come round head to head with us. So again, to go round cyclists or pedestrians wouldn't be safe at this point. So we hope this video has helped you understand the importance of teaching people where it is safe to overtake, especially for the ADI Part 3, the ADI Standards Check Test, because it is a thing that very often does not get covered. Now, we haven't overtaken any vehicles at all. We haven't come close to overtaking anything, but do you think that the pupil now at the end of this lesson knows more about overtaking and where it is safe to than they did at the beginning? So you can see that even if you don't get a chance to overtake, giving the student the knowledge of where would be safe, where wouldn't be safe, is incredibly valuable to them. And that's what we want to try and start doing for our pupils if we can. So just a final point, as we're coming down, we can see it is legal to overtake because there's a broken white line. However, we're coming into a 30-mile-an-hour zone now, and there's a junction on the left we can see with the sign we've just passed. The car in front has got its indicator on, so if we'd chosen to overtake at that point, that car is going to stop in the middle of the road and wait for its gap to turn, not expecting us to be on the wrong side of the road. So my name's Chris from Driver Training. If you've enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, share and subscribe. Don't forget to leave us a comment as well. Let us know what you think or any subjects that you'd like covered. So remember, drive safely, teach well, and we'll see you all again in our next video.